Hello there, and welcome to the CWL Fancast. I'm Jacob, and I'm joined today by Sophie. Sophie, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I'm excited. It was a turbulent week of Vindication and Nemesis this weekend.
Definitely, we had a
We're
lot of
getting
stuff.
closer to Battle Lines. We're getting closest to the next Genesis pay-per-view. It's definitely going to be an interesting time coming up in the CWL.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, taking a look, everything from the beginning of Vindication all the way to the end of Nemesis it was exciting, it was action-packed, and I can't wait to break it all down.
Absolutely, and we've got plenty to talk about here, and I guess we can just get into it. I guess we should also address this. Not going to be a trivia segment this week, as Marcus is once again out at the moment, and I guess he's just scared of like
Jesus Christ! Oh my God! Harris?
Harris, what
Sorry.
are you doing here?
Harris just broke into our recording studio. Harris, what are you doing here?
Hey guys! Hey, yeah. Well, I didn't tell you guys that I was coming because I got some stuff to talk about. I'm pretty amped up. I got some stuff. How you doing? Sorry
Hold on
about
one
that.
second. Let me just get this microphone in front of you. All right, make sure to lean into the microphone when you're talking. All right.
Hello?
You could have knocked. Our door is currently just on the ground, but besides that, it's always good to see people from the CWL grace our studio.
I mean, it's fantastic, but I mean, the door was unlocked, and we would have just let you in. I mean, okay. Anyway, what are you here for? What's going on?
Well, I picked you guys to instead of going out in front of the CWLUniverse, and I picked you guys to announce, or you know what? I haven't quite got permission yet from everybody involved, but I have a great idea for the Sergeant Hunter Harris match that I've been trying to get for months, and I came up with a good idea, and I know you guys have Sergeant Hunter's phone number because of the last time he was on, and there was a lot of things he said on that didn't. That's why I'm picking the certain stipulation, but I want him on the phone first. I don't want to talk about it until he's on the phone because I want.
You want us to call Sergeant Hunter?
I have his number. Do you want me to call him?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm calling him right now. I'm putting the phone through. I'm connecting it to the.
This whole studio.
What? You don't have to do that. I'm gonna call him. It's fine.
Well, Jay, let's weigh the options. Either he destroys our studio, or Sergeant Hunter destroys our self-esteem.
I'm just gonna.
Coffee cup away. How about that?
Why did you do that? I said I'm calling him. Hold on. I'm dialing him right now. I'm dialing him right now. It's ringing. Hold on. It's still ringing.
Sergeant Hunter's office, who may I ask is calling?
Oh, hey there. This is the CWL Fancast. We're joined by Harris, and he wanted to speak to Sergeant Hunter urgently.
I'm sorry, who may I ask is calling?
This is the CWL Fancast.
CWL Fancast, one moment, please.
Oh my god, this is bullshit. He has a...
Well, he's a busy guy. He's got a lot of stuff going on.
Hello?
Oh my god.
Hey, Sarge?
Sergeant Hunter speaking.
Yes, fantastic. Hey, Sarge, this is the CWL Fancast. Harris just broke into our recording studio and demanded we call you or he was going to murder all of us. So we called you.
Sarge, how's it going?
Sorry, who is this again?
It's the CWL Fancast. Well, you did an interview with us a little... Yeah, and Harris. You did an interview with us a week or two ago.
CWL Fan.
Yeah, check your calendar, bro.
I have a note on this. Ever call CWL Fan? Wait, did you guys just call me?
Well, Harris threatened to destroy.
We called you.
Just 1 second.
Oh my god.
Yeah, check your calendar, bro. Make sure that you have April or whoever the hell.
He's yelling at his assistant right now. I can hear him over the phone.
Hold on. You're saying Harris is here now?
Yeah, he's on the line.
He's threatening to do MMA on our coffee items if we did call you.
I could care less about your coffee items.
Same.
What
Here,
is this?
You want
What
your
is this
coffee?
about?
Say goodbye.
Why did you do that? We called him and everything.
Why? I don't even drink
I-
coffee, but like those were expensive.
Very busy. What is this about? Harris, shut your trap. Let them speak. Let the professionals, whatever that you want to call them, speak. What is this about?
I didn't think I was going to
Okay.
say this, but thank you, Sergeant Hunter. Harris, why don't you just
Canadian?
why don't you just explain whatever it is you came here to say, please?
Hi, Sarge. How you doing? You're sitting back in your recliner with your injuries. You feeling okay? You feeling better?
I'm pretty
Saw
good.
your
You don't
match.
worry about me. Don't worry about me. Just say what you gotta say.
I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about the injuries you're gonna re-get when I'm done with you. But so, anyways,
Re-get.
hey,
That's
so
great vernacular there, Harris. Re-get. Well done. Go ahead.
Vernacular? I don't even know what that. All right. I figured out our stipulation for our match, and you're gonna have to accept it. All right. Do you want to know what it is?
Don't need to accept anything. There's no stipulation for our match, but I'll hear what you have to say. Go ahead.
We're gonna have a no holds barred match.
Oh,
Wait.
we're not.
That is a huge headline. Sergeant Hunter, do you accept this no holds barred stipulation that Harris is suggesting for your match?
No. It's not going to happen.
What do you
We're
mean?
going to have a regular
Why?
wrestling match because you obviously don't know how to wrestle a regular wrestling match. So there's no point in bumping it up to a no holds barred match. And second of all, I don't need to do what you say. You're obviously not the person that makes the calls around here. So no, it's sorry to say, but it ain't happening.
All right. Well, you know what? Are you gonna stop me from, picking up a chair or going out into the crowd or like I'm gonna go through the avenues that I need to get this approved, whether you like it or not. Because guess
Make
what?
that match.
Guess what? You say I don't control things, but guess what? I controlled you to come out and respond to my all outs. You came out, that happened. And then you got cleared because I made that happen, basically. I'm in control there, bud. You beat me up backstage. I know that you're fine. So get it through your skull that this is happening, okay?
If you call getting
ahead.
thrown through a door being in control, if you call getting outed on stage in the middle of the ring, if you call that being in control, then you can have all the control you want. I don't mind sitting in the back. I don't mind sitting on the sidelines beating the shit out of you. I don't mind sitting in the back with the camera and the mic just wailing down insult after insult. If that's what you call control, by all means, take control. But I'm telling you, don't make that stipulation. You're going to be sorry if you do.
Okay, both of you,
You know
please
what?
settle down. Okay, thank you.
Okay,
First of
hold
all,
on.
Nah, this is beyond you, all right?
Yeah,
I
you
respect
shut
the
up. You stay out of
podcast.
this.
Jay, I maybe
I
just
came-
step back a little bit here.
what are we gonna do? They won't
I'm
leave
sorry,
the.
what? Go ahead.
We signed a contract this week for a tag team match. And I shit you not,
Yeah.
if that stipulation gets pushed, that tag team match is not happening.
Yeah, okay, so you're gonna big league the CWL again. You big league the podcast last time you were on, which was pretty appalling. I used to know Sergeant. Come on, listen to my voice, okay? Season 1, we were buddies. We hung out backstage. We watched each other have matches. Like we were buddies. What is happening? Why are you so bitter? What happened? What happened while you were gone? It was because I showed your highlights and then your lowlights.
You wanted to make a statement in the middle of the ring. You had a message. Don't be surprised that message got answered. Don't be surprised that all your outing caused me to enact a fight, because that's where it led you.
That's
my
what
fault.
I wanted. I wanted
my
you.
problem.
I wanted you to find me. I wanted you to hurt me.
Where are we now?
Because I knew you had it in you.
Where are we now?
knew
You
you
got
had it in
the
you.
shit. You had the shit kicked out of you 2 weeks ago, and you had yourself outed in the ring 3 weeks ago. That's where it led. You don't see where this is going to end up, Harris. This is going to end up with you lying face down in the middle of the ring with Sergeant Hunter standing on top of you, smiling and parading in that ring, just like I'm calling it right now. This is where it ends, is you looking like a bag of shit and me looking like a piece of gold.
And you know what? I'm okay with that. You know what? Here, I'll throw it out there right now. I might lose the match. But guess what? The ultimate goal was to get you back into a CWL ring and to get you back competing with who and where you need to be. Not sitting at home with your fucking assistant. Pardon my language, you can beep that, or I don't know if that's a thing. But you're sitting at home not doing anything, probably watching all your lowlights, and I tried to call you and text you and email you and snail mail you because you're like, your brain is old now or something, but it's at the end of the day, I got what I wanted either way. If I win, you put me in a pile of blood, in my own blood, I'll sit there, you'll be parading around smiling, I'll be smiling too, because guess what, we're going to have a banger of a match, either way, win or lose, we're going to have a banger of a match. The story that I've told for months, and then you just kind of walked around with your, oh, I'm not going to come back, I'm hurt, whatever, talk about that later, okay? We can have our match, we can fight, we can kill each other. All right?
And we don't have to.
I just wanted you back because I know what you have in you.
And we don't have to because you can't handle it. We have to have this, whatever this called it, the no holding match, or whatever you want to call it. We have to have this style of match because you seem to not be able to win in a regular match. So that's fine.
You kidding me?
Are
you kidding me? Did you not see?
Don't make that match.
Did you not see how I rose season 3? Go back. You know what? Stop. Go back and watch the entire season 3. Watch me win matches without weapons. I can do that. I was at the pinnacle of our business. And season 3, I went through it.
Make that match.
What's gonna happen? Whatever, dude.
Don't make that match.
You know what? What's gonna happen? It's gotta be that match because so you call me the lowlife for having weapons and stuff like that.
Okay, Harris, thank you. Yeah, I get it. Okay, you're hardcore. You're hardcore, and you like to beat people up with weapons. Thank you, Sarge. You're angry.
Shut him off. That's fine. That's good.
Jay, just click hang up on the phone. I don't think we're gonna get anywhere.
Okay, Sarge. Sorry. Okay, thank you so much, Sarge. You don't want to have the match. Thank you. Goodbye. Bye.
This is unbelievable.
Sorry. Okay, I hung up with him. Harris. Hey, thank you so much for coming in here. Are you gonna pay for the?
I wasn't.
Are you gonna pay for the door and also the coffee cup? And the other coffee cup?
You gotta talk to. You gotta talk to the owner about that.
The owner.
I will go to Home Depot and try to find the door or something. We're not sponsored by them, by the way. Don't.
Okay, you should thank you for coming in here and making that big announcement. I really appreciate it. But also, I'm really frustrated because you just broke a bunch of my stuff. So could you go?
I'll pick up your cup. I'm sorry.
You broke the cup is broken. The cup is broken in many pieces. Don't.
From my grandma, dude. What the hell?
And the other cup I got on a trip to Cancun with my family.
You know what? I'll go there and get another one.
Just
and then I'll brew a new. I'm sorry. I lost my cool.
I understand, but the best thing for you to do right now is to let me grieve. Okay. Thank you.
Will you guys have me back sometime?
We'll think about it. We'll think about it.
We probably will.
Okay. So he said no. So that it's not gonna. He said no.
I mean, I think he said he's okay with it happening, but he just said don't do it if you're not gonna be willing to get embarrassed.
Okay. Well,
that's at least.
I thought
It seemed more like
maybe
he
if I
was-
put him on the spot, that he would have to say yes. But now I don't even. Well, we got a tag match coming up. Maybe we'll figure that out. Maybe I don't. This was kind of a mistake. I think I should. Maybe I should have done this differently.
maybe, just listen. Word of advice from someone who does talk as their job. Simply talking to people and not being confrontational and not breaking down pieces of property. Sometimes, and this is just in my experience, sometimes works a bit better than yelling. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, I might have to reevaluate how I. No, I'm not. Fuck that, dude. You get nowhere by just. Yeah, maybe we can have this match. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about your broken stuff. I'll figure out a way to. But, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. I'm. No holds barred though. That's gonna be fun. It's gonna happen. Maybe I'll just get disqualified and then beat him up.
Yeah, that'll be really fun to
He's
watch.
not on the phone anymore,
Maybe
right?
maybe they'll break a coffee cup over your head. Maybe that'll happen at some point in the match. Yeah.
I love coffee, so
Well, I'd
maybe
love to see
needs
that.
All right, well, shoot. Well, yeah, I gotta go. So, yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah. I would say it's been a pleasure having you. Anyway, fantastic exclusive news bit we just got to here on the CWL Fancast.
So I need to fix this door right here.
You'll just
leave the door.
you've
We'll
done
get
you've
someone
done
else.
enough. You've done enough.
Here, I'll there. I put it back. It's up there. You just got to move it when you want to go through it.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks so much for that.
Your cup. There's your cup.
Thanks. Do you want to pick up the other pieces of it also, or do you want me to do that myself?
I'll get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to cut my hand. I got a match coming up.
Of
so.
course. Yeah, I understand. That's good priorities there. So we'll see you later, maybe Harris. Thanks for being here.
All right. Well, have a good rest of your podcast. I hope maybe at least it was entertaining and everybody will tune in and listen.
I'm sure.
Right,
I
well,
really hope they will.
Have a good.
You're just gonna move the door
All right,
there.
guys, well,
Yep. Okay.
I'm gonna move this door out of the way and then I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Oh man. Man, I hate both those guys now.
I still like Harris.
That was my. I got that cup as a souvenir from my trip to Cancun. Do you remember how excited I was about that? I Snapchatted all those pictures to you.
I got mine from my grandma, and she's dead now.
Yeah.
That's actually a replacement.
Well, I guess it's kind of the. I would say they both have sentimental value. Also, the door, that's more of a financial thing. I mean, the hinge is all snapped off. He's strong.
We should not tell Marcus and then have him be the first one to come in, and then he goes to push in the door, and he'll think he broke it.
I assume he's gonna listen to the podcast.
Yeah, but what if he doesn't?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It would be kind of funny.
Okay, listeners, if Marcus doesn't listen to the podcast and we get him with this epic prank, we'll tell you about it on the next episode.
No one tweet him about it.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just kind of collecting myself now because I would describe that as a really unpleasant experience, even though we did get that. I'm trying to balance, on one hand, we got this awesome exclusive, bit of news that we were able to announce here on the podcast that that Harris is looking to turn his match with Sergeant Hunter into a no-holds-barred match at Battle Lines, and even if Sergeant Hunter doesn't agree to it, I'm sure that if Harris, he has a huge track record in the CWL. If he goes through all the proper management channels, I'm sure he'll be able to secure himself that no-holds-barred match.
I mean, Sergeant Hunter seemed down to do the match, but it was more so he was like, "Oh, don't do it unless you're willing to get embarrassed," kind of thing. I don't know. They were kind of yelling a lot.
They were yelling a lot and breaking stuff. So I'm trying to
I mean,
I'm trying to
as far as
balance
we
the
know,
fact.
Sergeant Hunter wasn't breaking anything.
Yeah, that's a good point. Although actually, that's necessarily true. We don't know what he was breaking on his end, if he was breaking anything at all.
Okay, but wasn't anything of ours.
That's
So
true.
it's fine.
That is true. Although knowing him, he might send us a bill for it anyway.
Probably.
Regardless, yeah, that is the other side of it that I'm trying to balance. I guess overall it's a net positive, right? Is that how I should think of it?
Maybe.
Well, let's get right into all the CWL action from this week, starting with Vindication. Show started off very big. Belle Florent versus Kaylin, and Kaylin is continuing her winning ways, getting a huge win over one half of the Hunt. And this kind of, I would say, represents the ongoing rivalry between the DGC and the Hunt.
Yeah, it was definitely a nice win for Kaylin. You know, we saw last week she qualified for the Battle Lines match, but was attacked after the match. Thanks to some fan cam footage, we were able to discern that. But it was definitely a nice way to like just sort of keep that momentum going.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think. So it
was definitely also a good showing from Belle as well. It just seemed like Kaylin was that one step ahead in regards to, you know, being on her game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm just trying to go through who is on the Vindication women's team at this point. It's Kaylin, Catherine,
Kaylin, Olivia Maestral, and
yes.
Alexandra Marie.
Okay. Oh, of course, yes. And we're gonna get, of course, into some stuff that team did later. I was so excited when Alexandra Marie picked up that victory. That was really awesome.
It was kind of cool.
Anyway, so that was fantastic. Up next, we had Sergeant Hunter returning to the ring against Xander Woods, and I mean, it was terrifying. The whole thing from top to bottom.
Yeah, Xander, to his credit, tried to, you know, stay in the fight against the Sarge, but Sarge definitely came out there with a bit of a mission, and he sort of manhandled Xander just a bit. It looked like Xander was starting to mount a bit of a comeback towards the end, but then Sarge took his head off with a lariat and then stomped his head into the mat, and that was all she wrote for the Shoeless One.
Yeah, that was it was. I mean, it was not the outcome I wanted, I would say. You know, I'm always going to be a Xander Woods supporter, but it was interesting to see that Sergeant Hunter really does seem to be at the peak of his game and ready to take on Harris at Battle Lines. And perhaps, as we reported before, in that no-holds-barred match.
It doesn't look like he's necessarily lost a step since leaving the CWL.
And he does have that, of course, boot camp stomp that he uses to just demolish the head of his opponent. That was really... ugh.
And that's one thing that I could see possibly giving him an edge against Harris is that stomp right to the head. I mean, the blunt force trauma. Keep in mind, like, you also saw stuff like the shake and bake, the barrage. He could win this one by knockout, and it would not surprise me in the slightest from his skill set point of view, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then up next, we had Alex Graves versus Dower Ranger. And, of course, in the aftermath of this match, something very interesting happened. Alex Graves did get the win over Dower Ranger. And he was confronted by, after the match, Jasper Starr, who announced that he was going to face off with Alex Graves at, of course, Battle Lines. And this is why it's so interesting to me. Dower Ranger is, of course, the guy that Jasper Starr had been impersonating in his initial assaults on eBack.
Yeah, so... I don't know, maybe they got a little bit of connection there, but needless to say, it seems like, you know, Jasper Starr is definitely coming out here with a mission. He wants to take out the old guard of the CWL. He wants to make that name for himself.
It didn't work out so well for him in his first attempt, though.
To be fair, I was about to say, it didn't work too well the first time, but let's see how he does a second time, this time against Alex Graves, who, unlike eBack, maybe hasn't had as much momentum this season.
I agree with you, and also I would say that, of course, the match against eBack was a tables match. And with the tables match, I don't mean to demean it, but if luck is on your side, anyone can really win a tables match, right? Like, if you just hit with your opponent with that one lucky move that puts them through the table, then, you've gotten the victory. But for a traditional wrestling match, you have to out and out defeat your opponent,
Yeah. It's one of those things where, yeah, like, it's definitely it could be a lot better luck for Jasper Star. And the thing is, when Jasper lost, I didn't think it was just going to be him, like, oh, that's his career done and dusted. Like, I knew he would probably try and come back in some way. And he seems to be sticking to his guns in a sense. And in some way, you do have to respect that. That one loss hasn't just shaken his resolve. The fact that he has kept forward. And obviously, to a point, that just becomes stubbornness, and that's not a good thing. But I do commend it now that he's persevering.
Absolutely. He has that commitment. He has the resolve. I don't know if I really would support the way that he's using it, but I understand that he wants to put his name up in lights by going up against the big names, and that is definitely one way to get to the top of CWL. We'll see if it pays off for him at Battle Lines. Up next, of course, we had a tag team going up against up against each other's throats. Brubble versus Edward Bronson to try to get on Team Vindication, and it was Edward Bronson who got the end of it. And so now we have the full men's Battle Lines team. It's going to be Chris Princess at the head with Colin Prince, MD, and Edward Bronson all together. And that is...
I'm calling it right now.
Yeah?
Sorry, I don't mean to catch up. I'm calling right now Vindication's winning. They are. I watched that match, and I watched Bubble kick Edward Bronson's ass for essentially the entire match. But Edward Bronson locked in that bloke breaker once, and it was over.
I mean, it's such a good move.
It didn't matter that Bubble had been beating him pillar to post. He just locked in once, and it was over. He just needs to lock that in 4 times, and Nemesis is dead in the water.
Yeah, that is a lot of times, though.
Still, like, if he can at least get 2 of them, he'll have done more than his job.
Yeah.
If he can at least get 1 of them before he gets eliminated, he'll have done his job.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it definitely seems like the odds are stacked against Nemesis at this point. You've got Chris Princess, who is a brilliant wrestling mind at the head. You've got Colin Prince, who, while he's had his struggles, is definitely one that can never be counted out. You've got MD, who has been on an absolute tear through all of Season 4. And then you've got Edward Bronson, who is just as hot. It is definitely looking like Team Vindication is the team to beat.
Absolutely, and that's not me, slacking off Nemesis. Nemesis has a hell of a team.
Oh, for sure.
But it's like Vindication's running the Monstars right now.
Yeah,
They've
yeah.
got Bronson, they've got Prince, they've got the YouTube champion MD, and they've got arguably one of the greatest champions in CWL history in Chris Princess. Whereas Nemesis has a lot of younger talent that is still looking to prove themselves. So who knows? Maybe if Nemesis does pull off a win, all those guys have definitely shown that they are not to be taken lightly. But you've essentially got a bunch of people that I know are good versus people that are on the come up.
And the question is, will Nemesis be able to find their Michael Jordan to kind of defeat that just terrifying looking Vindication team?
Well, they have their team set, and we'll talk about it a little bit later in the show, but I don't know.
Well, what I mean by that is that, which one of those members will be the one to be the difference maker.
Oh, yeah. And again, I will, I've got a sort of theory about that later on in the show, but I'll get to that then.
All right. So, up next, we had Tiffany Quinn versus Sarah LeBlanc. Tiffany Quinn got the win, putting the hunt at 1-1 for the day, or for the night, I should say. And next week, it looks like Tiffany Quinn and Belle Florent will be going up against Sarah and Kaylin.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that match has been essentially, fully announced, but I definitely would not be surprised if we saw that. It definitely seems like that is what is going to happen.
Yeah, it seems like I'm looking at something that CWL put out, and that seems to be the case, but it's not officially listed on the show preview. So perhaps we have a bit more of another hint of a match. But after that, we had
Who knows?
Griteri getting the win over Max Sherman. Of course, the wayward son of the Church of Steel taking the L to the new Pride of Mexico.
Yeah, and we saw just before this match, it looked like Jack Steele was coming out to sort of even the odds a bit. But instead, Zyrotoa came out and stopped him from doing just that. So perhaps we're seeing a bit of an alliance form against the Church of Steel between Max Sherman and Zyrotoa. Although maybe Max Sherman should have had Zyrotoa come out and help him for his match because it did not give him the victory against Griteri, which now puts Griteri in a very interesting place where he's not number one contender for the YouTube title, but he just beat the number one contender for the YouTube title. So perhaps it might be made a triple threat when that match does happen.
That is definitely possible. I would definitely say that he's the number 2 contender at this point, especially considering, you know, how much of a streak he's been. Well, not quite a streak, but I would say a tear. He did, of course, take that loss to Flapjack Carter in the Pride of Mexico. I would say the unofficial Pride of Mexico match, which Flapjack Carter did win. Are we good to move on to Nemesis?
Yeah, not a lot to necessarily report in terms of Vindication this week. It was a lot of people sort of just vying for spots on the Battle Lines card, like trying to raise their rep. I mean, obviously we have that ladder match where every win can sort of be what does or dies for someone's sake of being in that match. And, you know, who knows, now with the win from Griteri or the win from, you know, we could see them added to the match. So it should be an interesting prospect, to say the least.
Absolutely. And before we get on to the meat of Nemesis, I would like to reference something that happened during the week. We heard an announcement from the chairman who responded to actually Jay Scott's promo the other week, announcing that he had accepted the challenge and was considering a team for that match at Battle Lines.
Oh, and you just reminded me of another thing that happened in Vindication we sort of skipped over. It was a rather quick thing, but we actually saw the Black Rose backstage talking to Faith De La Rosa, and there was an interview recently released that sort of stated that her suspension is essentially up, and we'll be seeing her at Battle Lines against an opponent of Faith's choosing.
Oh yeah, I've totally forgotten about that as well. That is really, that I gotta admit, you know, I have a complicated relationship with the Black Rose because on one hand, I absolutely abhor the way that she goes about everything that she does. I mean, so unnecessarily brutal in my opinion, so vicious. But on the other hand, I mean, she just has that intangible charisma, that incredible look, that total technical mastery in the ring. Exactly that. So I am very excited and also apprehensive to see the Black Rose in action once again.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to see, as we hear apparently an announcement's going to be made on a talk show by the chairman himself in around a week's time, next Wednesday. So it'll be interesting to see who it is. Hopefully it'll be announced before we record the podcast next week so we can talk about it. But if not, I'm sure people will get mad at us.
Absolutely. I'm currently eating safe to eat cookie dough, apparently, because I'm a podcast professional.
I've just got a little bit of gum, but I don't think that picks up on the mic at all.
Can you hear my chewing?
I can't, but I can definitely hear that you've got your mouth full.
Yeah.
But speaking of full, Nemesis was absolutely full.
Oh, wait, hold on. We were going to talk about the other thing. Who do you think the chairman's going to pick to... What tag team is the chairman going to pick?
Oh, yeah, well, we heard a little bit of a thing at the end of the message saying that he's just doing what he's supposed to do. Now, for all of you CWL historians, not even historians, if you're here in Season 3, you would know that a certain former Vindication World Champion theme was all about doing what he's supposed to do. And, you know, it maybe we'll possibly see that certain Vindication World Champion make a return. Who knows?
Wait, remind me who this person was? I didn't hear.
Miles. I'm referring to Miles.
Oh, you think that Miles... Wait, are you saying...
Chicago.
And That, and also we know that Jay Scott has had disagreements with Tommy Hazard. Could it be Mild Hazard?
Let's not get crazy here. Let's not get too crazy.
Okay, well, Miles is not a whole tag team. He needs a partner.
I mean, he was part of quite a few tag teams.
That is
He was
true.
part of the Sellouts with another Vindication World Champion, Nightmare.
I get excited, you know. I just, you know, I hear one big return and I want two big returns.
If Tommy Hazard was able to wrestle, he would have been doing it by now. I think his back must be thoroughly messed up.
Do you remember the Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey match?
Yeah.
Like Miles could be the Ronda Rousey, and Tommy Hazard could be the Kurt Angle. You know.
True. But we also did see Tommy Hazard get taken out by Chris Princess, just the other week. So
it was just a tiny little DDT on a table. What are you talking about?
He hasn't wrestled in like a year.
That is
had
true.
To retire due to medical issues. A DDT for him is probably like getting hit in the head with a solid steel steps.
Well, in that case, I would like to officially throw my hat into the ring to be Miles's tag team partner in this upcoming match.
It's not that far-fetched. We saw him at the Banff tournament over in Japan a few months ago, so the idea of him stepping back in the ring is certainly possible. It's just a matter of, is it Miles, or could it be that was just a red herring for the chairman to throw even Jay Scott off the tracks? Who knows?
Why don't we do it?
I'm not gonna fight him.
Why not? We both hate that guy.
Okay, but two reasons, Jay.
Okay.
One, I'm not going to Chicago.
That's true. Good point.
Two, last I checked, neither of us are certified wrestlers. Maybe you got some training I didn't hear about. And Jay Scott isn't who I'm worried about, keep in mind. But Rodrigo Delgado is there, and I don't want him to do MMA to my body.
I follow you on that, and here's what I'm thinking. If we just keep Jay Scott from making the tag, you know,
Well,
classic
starts the match.
wrestling,
Start the match,
then we don't get in the ring until he tags out to Jay Scott.
I'm still not feeling it.
You don't think the two of us could take Jay Scott together? I'm pretty sure we could.
I would prefer not to have MMA done on my body after one of us inevitably slips up and gets the tag.
Regardless, we don't also have any wrestling experience, so I don't know if pay-per-view tickets would sell on that merit.
Experience, but I don't have wrestling experience.
No, I know. I just I'm also thinking, you know, what would the chairman be interested in having on the show, and probably not two podcasters going up against the people that he wants to be humiliated on a big stage, you know?
Yeah.
Because I think we probably would be the ones who end up getting humiliated.
It would be good. It would definitely be good, like, you know, advertisement for the show.
For our show, yes. For their show, I don't know.
I mean, we literally call our show the CWL Fancast. We advertise their show every time we say their name.
Yeah.
Harris just came in and broke down our door to make a stipulation for the match on the show. We are literally advertising for them for free.
And two of our coffee cups. And that's just, sorry, I should just remind both of us, when we do get up, when we finish the podcast, we have to watch out for the shards of ceramic on the ground. We should...
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, moving on to the meat of Nemesis, we've got Zach Anderson with Raimondo in the corner versus Johnny Gemini, joined by John Spartacus. This was very impressive, and Johnny Gemini busted out this new move that he called the True Gemini Driver. I mean, just dropping Zach Anderson right on the back of his neck.
This match, I think as the kids these days say, fuck. It was awesome.
It was a lot of fun.
They kicked the hell out of each other for the entire match, and it looked legitimately like it was any man's game. Like, both of them were hitting their biggest shots, and both of them were kicking out. Johnny Gemini, though, at the end was able to finally put Zach Anderson away, but man, I've got to be honest, I know they're doing this tag match at Battle Lines, but you could just tell me that neither of the other guys are going to be in the match, and they were just running this back, and I would not complain.
Yeah, I mean, so you had... I would say that Zach Anderson joining the Fatal Vices is probably the best choice he has made, because I don't know what the hell they did to him, but he has just been so tough ever since he put on that mask. I mean, his last 2 matches, he has just been kicking out of whatever has been thrown at him. It took 2 of those true Gemini drivers to put him down, and he was just being dropped straight on the back of his head 2 times. I mean, it looked atrocious.
And it took like 3 Centurion spears for Spartacus to beat him. Like,
that's what I'm talking about. I don't know what they feed the Fatal Vices, but obviously it agrees with Zach Anderson very much. I mean, he has been operating on a whole other level, and I can't wait to see more of it. I would say that joining the Fatal Vices was the best choice for him out of any of them.
Yeah. I will say, watching this match, it did very much so feel like this is the future of Nemesis between these 2.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
I would not be surprised if, a few months to a year down the line, these 2 are fighting for the Nemesis World title in the main event of a major pay-per-view. Johnny Gemini, we talked about people having the it factor with the Black Rose. I definitely see Johnny Gemini as one of those people who just, like, the charisma, the look, the everything, he's got it. And I think the sky is the limit for him as long as he, as long as nothing disastrous happens. I don't see him falling off.
I agree completely. And there was some really exciting stuff that happened in our next match as well. Drake Harrison getting the win against Ryan Quinn. But in the middle of the match, TJ Black, after distracting the referee, locked in the pyramid scheme on Drake Harrison for just a few key seconds. And that weakened the arm of Drake Harrison enough that the first time he hit the single bound, it was not enough to put away Ryan Quinn completely. It took a Red Wing knee to put Ryan Quinn down for the 3 count.
Yeah, interesting strategy from TJ Black, just straight up targeting the arm for a little bit there. But I guess he realized he didn't want to get DQ'd. I guess he thought maybe the ref would be distracted a bit longer. But in the end, it definitely did throw Drake Harrison off his game. You've got to wonder if maybe there's some serious arm damage done to Drake Harrison. I mean, we saw the Tyranno bombs couldn't get it done. The single bound couldn't get done. He had to fall back on the Red Wing knee to put Ryan Quinn away, which good showing from Ryan Quinn, but he continues to sort of fall down the Nemesis ladder.
Absolutely. I mean, he's just been getting defeat after defeat recently. The question is, will he find that fire once again, or will he just kind of float around lost for a while? That is definitely something that I'm hoping to get an answer to in the coming weeks. Maybe he'll get injected into that ladder match.
Yeah, that's something that I feel happens to Ryan Quinn a lot, is that he'll go on these tears, and then he'll just sort of cool off a bit, and, like, he's not really a threat for a few months, but then he comes back and reminds you why he is that dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
He definitely is someone who takes time to recharge his batteries.
And speaking of someone who definitely needed to recharge their batteries, I mean, Cassidy Clark got her ass handed to her by Jada King, trying to teach a lesson to Callie Kaplan in the process. I do not know what she was thinking, taking on one of the most dominant... I was going to say one of the most dominant Nemesis Women's Champions, but then I realized that almost every Nemesis Women's Champion we've had in recent memory has been extremely dominant.
That's true, and that's pretty true. I mean, I don't think they're on the same level yet as Harley Quinn or Kel were, obviously, but they are definitely proving themselves quite a bit since coming up to Nemesis.
Yeah, I would say, when I think of dominant Nemesis Women's Champions, I think Kel Valent, I think Harley Quinn, I think Cassidy Clark in her run-up to the title. They're not able to hold on to it for a terribly long time, and now Jada King is looking to add her name to that list, and I think she's doing a great job. So that was really impressive. Oh, but after the match, I almost forgot about this. I mean, I don't know how I could because it was so incredibly impactful. Every competitor, the lights went out. When the light came back on, every competitor that had competed, and also Callie Kaplan on the outside, had vanished. Only Jessica Scarberry was standing in the ring, and she lifted up that championship, and just gave a little show for everyone with it.
Yeah, and it looks like Jessica Scarberry is going to be Jada King's next challenger for that Nemesis Women's Championship, which we saw Jada King challenge earlier in the season. It's Harley Quinn, and at the time, it seemed like she had all the momentum in the world, and then she came up short. Now she seems to have all the momentum in the world. Will she come up short again? As that match we do know is happening next week.
Yeah, that'll be really interesting, and I cannot wait for that to happen. But I'm also another thing that I can't wait to have it happen is Alex Perez and Connor Gates going one-on-one for that Nemesis Heavyweight Championship. But this week they were teaming together against the War Boys, and they barely scraped by with a victory. It was not a dominant victory. Sometimes we go in and we're like, oh my god, what a dominant victory. He absolutely destroyed him. That was not the case. They just barely squeaked out a victory over the War Boys.
I would say, though, to counter that, Connor Gates kind of came in here with something to prove. He did not really tag with Alex Perez that much. Once he got into the ring, he did not come out of it. So it was sort of like he was fighting a 2-on-1 handicap match. And I've got to be honest, it sort of seemed like he was trying to not let Alex Perez one-up him. I mean, we've seen Connor Gates have issues the past couple weeks with people stealing his moment, so to speak. And I guess he just didn't want that moment to be stolen in this match.
Absolutely. I mean, that was huge. And I guess the moment that we're all looking forward to is the aftermath of the match between Alex Perez and Connor Gates for that heavyweight championship. That'll be incredibly exciting. And then up next, we had a little bit of a look backstage. Xander spoke to, Alex Clark. A lot of Alexes, so I just got tripped over my words for a second. Xander spoke to Alex Clark about joining the Team Nemesis. No answer yet, but definitely I am interested to see what his final answer will be in time.
Yes, it'll definitely be interesting. It does seem like the rumor is he is going to join up with the team. And we talked about the Michael Jordan needing to find that hidden ace in their sleeve. I think Alex Clark could very well be that. Because Alexander, Ken Warlock, and Damian Morgan are all going in there to prove something. Alexander's going in there to prove that Nemesis is the best. Ken Warlock is going in there to prove that, the Fatal Vices are the best group in the CWL. Damian Morgan is looking to prove he's worthy of being the Fatal Vices. Alex Clark, the only thing he's worried about, the only thing he wants to do is to win this match. He doesn't have any ulterior motive. He doesn't have any sort of extra thoughts about it. He is going in there to win. And I think that's what sets him apart from the rest of the Nemesis team. And I've got to be honest, I think that's what sets him apart from the rest of everyone in this match, because everyone is going in there with something to prove except for Alex Clark. Everyone has ulterior motives except for him. He's the only one that's focusing solely on this match, and that could be what the difference maker is at Battle Lines.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it has been... And Alex Clark, he's had his struggles. He's had his struggles getting forward. He's had his struggles getting momentum. Would you agree with me there?
It's been very stop and start, I've got to agree. I mean, we saw him pick up the win against Rodrigo, but that was his first big win in a while.
But here's what I would say, is that when he is in the ring, he's incredible to watch. I mean, I would say that he does have that it factor that we were discussing earlier. He's someone that all eyes are on him when he's performing, win or lose. And whenever he starts doing something, it seems like it's important. It garners attention, and that is definitely something that I'm excited to see continue, especially past Battle Lines, possibly going even into a title contention.
Absolutely, and I mean, we know he challenged for the Twitch title at Mary Mayhem, but he's someone who, if he does, let's say he does show up and show out for his team, he's someone I definitely could see possibly challenge for the Twitch title, even the world title. And I would very much like to see what that would be like if he did go for it. I think it would have to be a very good showing in the Battle Lines match, but it's definitely not something out of the question.
Yes, absolutely. And then up next, we had Chris Edwards issuing that open challenge answered by Matthew Ramirez. It was the swinging neckbreaker into the spinning heel kick that picked up the victory for the man who put Dr. Wrestling Jr. in a coma.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting match. I've got to be honest, I did not expect Matthew Ramirez to lose here, because he's been on quite the roll lately. So to see him drop this match to Chris Edwards was a more than a bit surprising for me.
Explain. I mean, Chris Edwards has also been on top of his game, except, of course, he did not get that win against Connor Gates for the Nemesis Heavyweight Championship. But aside from that, I would say he's been pretty dominant as well. They've both been on a relative tear as of late.
I think he's been dominant as well, but Matthew Ramirez, just in general, has been more consistent in his dominance. I mean, we've seen him on a roll, but it's not like he's been on a roll and then just losing random matches. Chris Edwards, yes, he's been on a roll, but then every now and then he'll lose to I don't even remember who was the person he lost to in his debut. I forget his name, but I remember it wasn't very impressive.
Yeah, it
Brandon
doesn't
Cuevas.
matter.
He lost to Brandon Cuevas. It's like that's the issue with Chris Edwards, is for every TJ Black or Drake Harrison win, there's a Brandon Cuevas.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of who it was that he lost to, I mean, I think it was relatively unimportant. He did, of course, get that loss in his debut, which was, I'm sure, frustrating for him, but he's bounced back from it pretty well. I would say this match was pretty competitive. Matthew Ramirez was able to hit, or I can't remember, was he looking for the heat in the moment, or did he actually manage to hit it?
He was not able to hit the heat of the moment in this match, and I think that was the big thing, was that he was not able to get it.
I remember he was going for it on the outside. I couldn't remember if it connected or not, but Chris Edwards was able to finish it off very soon after that with that spinning heel kick, and that was very impressive. But we have a couple of headlines all in a row up next. So Sheila issued her own open challenge. It was 2 open challenges in a row. And whoever faced her, the winner of that match, would go on to join the Nemesis women's team. Liza Horror, up from Genesis, answered the call. The only woman to have beat Sheila on Genesis. She beat Sheila once again. It was insane. I mean, I certainly didn't expect it. And so Liza Horror, in her debut match, has been added to the Nemesis women's team match. I can't get my words in order. There we go.
Team Nemesis for the Women's Battle Line match. There we go.
There you go. Congratulations. But it was not only that, but it was what happened after the match that was also headline worthy.
Yes, but I just want to talk about this match real quick.
Go for it.
Liza Horror was very similar to Jada King, who got a lot of chances to win the big one on Genesis and never succeeded. I think the fact that her first match was a big deal and she was able to win already shows that, similar to Jada King, she's able to bring it on a big stage. And I'm very excited to see what she does in the next coming weeks, especially with the Supremacy Cup on the horizon. I mean, she's someone who I could see being a sleeper pick to win the whole cup.
I am very excited for when we get to break down our predictions about that. Well, that was incredibly exciting, and now we're going to get to see a new Genesis call-up added to one of those Battle Lines matches. But in addition to that, we had the Vindication women's team invading Nemesis and just destroying so many people. We had Alexandra Marie attacking Valkyrie in the locker room. We had Catherine Love slamming the door of a car on whose head was it?
It was Quinn Edwards.
It was Quinn Edwards. That was a particularly brutal assault. But in the end, it was Team Vindication who was left standing at the end of the night. It was really a harrowing assault, I would say. That's something my English teacher would give me points for saying.
Yeah, it was definitely an odd sight seeing Nemesis stand tall. Vindication rather, stand tall at the end of Nemesis. I mean, it was already a surprising enough ending, seeing Liza Horror be the one to stand tall at the end of Nemesis, something no one would have predicted. But then to see Vindication actually be the ones. We still don't know who the 4th member of Team Nemesis is going to be.
We certainly don't. It could be Selena Adams, but we don't know at this point.
We don't know. Nothing has been said, really, to make it seem that way. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll see a qualifier next week, but it'll definitely be interesting because right now, Nemesis is a person down.
They are indeed, and I'm very excited to see what happens next week, and then the week after when we have Battle Lines. Hopefully next week we will be able to give you that trivia contest and our little Battle Lines preview. I am very excited for everything going on in the CWL, and I cannot wait to tune in this Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to catch the latest episode of Vindication and Nemesis. So are you as excited as I am?
I'm excited, and hopefully next week if we get the trivia contest, maybe we'll also get our intro back because we didn't have an intro this week.
That is true. That was unfortunate.
You know what? We'll have to do that whenever we have the trivia episode. That's how they'll know, is because we'll have the little jingle back at the beginning.
That is true, and I'm very excited for that. It's gonna be good stuff. All right, well,
yeah.
Thank you all for joining us. It has been a fantastic time breaking down all the CWL action, and we will catch you all very, very soon. Bye.